Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Dan-A-Plooza. My guest at this time is a very special guest, part of a Renaissance troupe known as Chaste Treasure. Everyone, please welcome Lady Morgan.
Hello! Lovely to meet all of you. It's nice to be here.
Thank you for being here. So let's go ahead and divulge into some questions.
Sure, of course. Ready for
what made you decide to form Chaste Treasure?
Oddly enough, it actually wasn't my decision. I was approached in 2013 at the New Jersey Renaissance Fair by their director, TJ Miller. And he said, I need you, because I was the music director at the time, I need you to come up with a singing group, a women's singing a cappella group that we can put on a stage. So I put it together with a couple of the people that we have now, like Lady Rosaline was with us, and myself and like two other people then too. And then the next year we did it again, and that was the first year we got approached by an outside group. The Pittsburgh Renaissance Festival had just lost their adult femme group. So we were like, yeah, let's take a run at this. But I can't say I can't take credit for creating the group initially. That was definitely TJ's suggestion. But after that, I incorporated it, so it's mine now.
Lady Morgan has all the royalties now for Chaste Treasure.
I did relatively. Per se. So I mean, like, I'm the producing director of the group, and I do own the LLC, but there are lots of other people that are very important to the group. Like Lady Rosaline is always doing all of our social media. So anytime you see a social media post, it's almost always Lady Rosaline. And then we have Lady Elsa, who also does a lot of the technical background work. So when we're doing our Ladies Unlaced episodes, almost every time it's Lady Elsa's work somewhere in the background, putting the intro together, the outro together, the countdown, all that kind of stuff. That's all Lady Elsa's work. And we would not have the same show right now without them, certainly. And all of the ladies that we work with are wonderful contributors, and they contribute verses, and they contribute their voices and a lot of stuff. So as much as I can say, yes, I own the LLC, it's not just me. It's never just been me.
Well, I think that's great that you have so many people working together, so many talented women. For folks watching right now or tuning in later, you can watch these unlaced episodes on the Chaste Treasure Facebook page. So go take a look at that. Make sure
you can also find them on our YouTube channel. I swear, if you look up Chaste Treasure on YouTube, we are the only thing that comes up. So don't worry.
Or the YouTube channel. So please follow those, hit the like button, and continue to support. They also have, for anybody else that is watching right now, a Patreon page. You can see the link down below. What kind of things can people expect while joining your Patreon page?
So at our base level, which I believe is $5, you get a monthly letter from one of the ladies. We're starting to run through how many members we have. We had at one point 19 different people.
Oh, wow.
So not all of them are deciding to come back this year, so we will do a little bit of a change up of personnel, but that's relatively common, especially with as many talented people as we get to work with. They get pulled away to other shows constantly, so I'm never mad about that. But yeah, that's just the beginner level, is like a monthly letter from ladies telling you what they've been up to and what they're doing now. We also can do custom verses, a lot of behind the scenes content of how we create things and what we're doing. At the highest level, you can get a personalized concert for yourself and like up to 20 other guests. So you can just you get to choose which ladies, you get to choose around what time of year that you can do it, somewhat of the location, a lot of different things. So it's worthwhile to subscribe and have a really good time with all of us.
So it's great because you can kind of have your own show and you play a pivotal part in setting it up. And I'm sure it's very entertaining and capturing at the same time for all the viewers to watch who partake in that.
Oh, yeah. It's a lot of fun.
And I have received that letter, and the letters I can tell because I have received some in the past. They are very well written. Well, the ones I've gotten.
I can't attest to. I would assume so. I've definitely I've handwritten some. I know some of the ladies will do it in like quill, and they'll like put a like a wax sealed stamp on them.
I've gotten that. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, it's lovely, and some people have really, really nice handwriting, and I sometimes do, but I have to work really hard at it. So, yeah, I can promise you that you'll get letters. I can't guarantee how much sense they'll make.
And for those watching, I'll post one of the sample letters in the Dan-A-Plooza Facebook page if you want to see what that's like, and then that'll encourage you to join. So take a look at that in the Dan-A-Plooza Facebook page. So moving on, what challenges did Chaste Treasure first experience during the pandemic?
Initial challenges were part of the reason why we ended up with 19 members at one point is because we needed people that were able to go places. And especially with a lot of our ladies who were either starting families or starting new jobs or careers or moving on to a different career. There were times where we would have people for a bit and then they would leave. Like Lady Lucrezia for a while did a bunch of shows in this area, and then specifically on the East Coast. And then she moved out to California. So we just didn't have her anymore because she was pursuing other careers. But then eventually we started to do some West Coast stuff. So we've been able to get it back. But yeah, initially the problems were finding enough personnel to do everything. And it is always weird to be in competition with people that you like and you don't feel you need to be in competition with. There are Renaissance fairs that'll be like, well, you have one girl group. So that means that obviously we can't hire any other girl groups. I'm like, no, you can. You don't have to just have us. Like there are other female performing groups like Merry Wives of Windsor. They have a bunch of different people that they perform with, and they're wonderful. We actually sing one of their songs. And every once in a while, I'll write into a festival and be like, hey, could we perform out there? And they'd be like, no, we have Merry Wives. I'm like, all right, fair enough. But also know that like we're friends and you're not going to insult me by saying that you're hiring somebody else that I care about. We have great friends on the East Coast that are Bardi Party, and they are adorable. They are much less adult than us. So sometimes people will be like, oh, well, we already have Bardi Party. And I'm like, yeah. But they're not adult themed. They're very appropriate for all audiences. If you would like an adult themed group that looks completely different, we would also work for you. So that's the weirdest thing in terms of a challenge is just people are expecting you to be like upset about those kinds of things, or that, like, oh, we're all in competition with one another. And from my perspective, I feel like we just all uplift each other at this point, because there's no point in being in competition with other people that are really talented. Just like, oh, all right, I didn't get it, but they did. That's good.
Well, I think that's very important. I think it's very important as artists and performers to support one another in the creative realm and spectrum. So I think that's really great, and it speaks volumes to you as a performer and representative of Chaste Treasure. So
yeah, we love everybody individually and in groups.
I know one of your friends is, and I really like the group Music the Gathering.
I love them. Oh my God. Where is their book? Oh, their book is over there. I got their book while I was, it's all right. I got their book while I was down in, Louisiana? No, in Pittsburgh. I bought it in Pittsburgh. And they are so much fun. Such a delight. I love being on stage, to share a stage with them or to share even a venue. They are so much fun. They're such great people.
I've talked to them, and they may be a future guest on Dan-A-Plooza. So
definitely worth it. They are super nerdy, so enjoy that. I say as if I didn't cry rewatching the cool parts of Endgame this afternoon while I was eating lunch. Totally cried. It's very special.
So what is some of your favorite Renaissance festivals to attend?
Oh gosh, They all have really wonderful aspects to them. So it just depends. New Jersey is one that I personally work for a lot. I'm there. I work for them as a not an entertainment coordinator. What am I saying? What do we call it? Quarter mistress. So I get everything done in the background. That's mostly what I do for them now, and that's my job from January to June, is working with them almost exclusively, which again is why we need more people for Chaste Treasure, because I can't go anywhere most of the time doing that show. So I love New Jersey just because it's that's our home fair. That's where we started as a group. Pennsylvania is one of my favorite places to perform. The Pennsylvania Renaissance Fair has one of the best professional casts I've ever worked with. It is a long day, and they are a blast. Every time I go there, the casts that they put together and their scenarios are so much fun. I really enjoy them. I love Louisiana for the crowds. We are super rock stars there. Same with Alabama too. There's actually a show called the Alabama Medieval Fantasy Festival that we do, and we are treated like queens there, almost literally at times. Pittsburgh is also one of my favorites because, I mean, again, I love all of them. But the fun thing about Pittsburgh is that we get to work with groups like Music the Gathering, or like the Plunder Dogs, or a bunch of different acts. And we love to do kind of competing with each other at the end of the day at pub sing. So we'll just sort of out ridiculous one another. Like Music the Gathering. All right. So one time we were doing Celtic Weekend at Pittsburgh, and they didn't have a song prepared, and they had come from another show. So Liv just jumps into Marco's arms and pretended to be a set of bagpipes. So she like stuck her thumb in Marco's mouth, and he just went, and she just sticked her leg out, and that was it. And that was their entire Celtic performance, was just Liv pretending to be bagpipes, and it was wonderful. So we just try to make each other laugh.
Renaissance improv.
Yeah, that is, honest to goodness, most of the time, most of what you're seeing in a Chaste Treasure show, in almost any Renaissance Fair show, there will be a lot of scripted bits, and then there's always just something. You just have to react to the audiences, to the random things that are occurring around you, no matter what it is. Yeah, we are all experts in interactive performance and improv.
That's great, and I think that's great that you have that bond between the audience.
Yeah, they really trust us, and we love to be able to say, you can come back to our show multiple times, because you'll never know what's going to come out of our mouths. We don't even know. Sometimes I will plan jokes on people, but most of the time I have no clue what's going to happen, and we just roll with it.
I do know that I have attended the Pittsburgh Renaissance Festival, and I have seen you perform there multiple times.
Yeah, that is a really fun one. Yeah, that's one of my favorites. And usually other people are doing Pennsylvania simultaneously. Actually, last year it was Pennsylvania, Maryland, and Pittsburgh all at once, which was wonderful. But again, having to send out 9 people simultaneously, it gets a little bit, it's hard to keep track of in your brain. But yeah, I elected to go to Pittsburgh because of being able to work with Music the Gathering and being able to workshop new songs and things like that. It's really fun.
Yeah. Will you be there in 2022, or are you still waiting?
I don't know yet. Yeah, we're still waiting on contracts for a lot of different stuff. So we've announced what we can on our website, chasetreasure.com. You can also find us on Facebook. That's usually updated pretty often. I know we are doing a show in Appalachia, so that's in Tennessee. I know that we are working on contracts in a couple of other places. We confirmed Maine, that's in July. And there's like one other one. I think the Alabama one we've also confirmed, but we're a little iffy on that one because it's supposed to be in the beginning of March this year. And a bunch of us live in New England. So there is a really big chance that we might end up in a snowstorm and we won't be able to travel. So that one, although we're under contract, is technically kind of up in the air.
And for those watching that's again down in the ticker, the Chaste Treasure website.
Yes, we just updated that recently, so it should be, with everything that we know of right now, it's up to date.
I could say, because I've also done improvisation before. I've been part of 3 improvisation troupes, and I know sometimes it can be a challenge with some of the suggestions. Do you welcome every suggestion, or do you know like which ones to go with and which ones not to go with, within performance?
I think it depends on the team and how confident we are. There are some people that are really, really expert level improvisers, like Lady Katya, because she does other Renaissance Fair shows where they do a lot of improv, like Greatest Pirate Story Never Told. The same with a couple of the others too, like Lady Rosaline can pick up practically anything and work with it. So it just depends on people's level of comfort. I mean, the nice thing about having audiences shout out a bunch of suggestions is that we can pick what we want, and I'll just keep going until we find a good suggestion. But it's also, these are things that we're kind of prepared for as well. So we do a song called We Like Our Men Like We Like Our Drinks, and we get drink suggestions, and almost inevitably someone's going to shout out Jameson or just whiskey in general. Someone's going to shout out Sex on the Beach because they think it's funny. Someone's going to shout out wine. Someone's going to shout out all different kinds of things. We've gotten weird ones, and you can elect to take a weird one if you want to. We got Tang at Louisiana. Legit, someone said Tang, and I was like, really? All right. Chocolate milk. We've got a lot of weird suggestions on occasion. So if you feel confident enough to be able to put something like that together, or you potentially have done that months before, like, oh my God, I remember the one time I got chocolate milk back in July. I guess I can pull it out in August now. You might have some kind of like a prepared response, but most of the time we are just making it up on the spot. And it depends on the level of comfort with the people involved as to how difficult we are comfortable with, or how easy we try to go with.
I just know that my first suggestion that would pop in my head is moonshine.
We've had people, I think they've talked about moonshine before. I'm trying to remember other weird suggestions that we've gotten. We've gotten all kinds of stuff. Oh, someone said like a buttery nipple, and I had to keep looking up the ingredients for that. I was like, what the hell are you asking me about? That sounds wrong. Katya gets White Russian. Agnes is Scottish, so she gets stout constantly.
Mountain Dew, or I think
I had done Mountain Dew at one point a while ago, but yeah, I think we've gotten Mountain Dew. No one's ever said bang, which is kind of surprising to me, because I was like, how many nerds out there you don't want the strawberry flavored bang? All right. I don't believe you anymore, but all right, here we are. I've gotten coffee several times.
In the holiday season, they might say eggnog also.
Yep. We've had holiday themed drinks, eggnog, wassail, oh God, any number of things. And sometimes people will shout out things that they've made up, and I'm like, that's not helping. Like if you want me to make a joke about a drink that I couldn't possibly know because it's an inside joke with you and your friends, it's not going to help. Unless you explained it to me in advance, it's not going to help.
Right. So yeah, I've had those sometimes where they're off the wall, and sometimes we've just dismissed the ones where, depending on where people are comfortable. Yeah. And then we just went with what we knew.
Well, and keep in mind too that sometimes we'll have a discussion and we'll be like, look, I need a gimme today because it's August and I'm wearing a couch. So let's just make this one easy. And that's always fine. That's acceptable.
With moving on, what is it that you like most about being part of Chaste Treasure?
I never have to do the same show twice. And that changes, almost every aspect changes depending on who's in the team. So, different teams of ladies, we say that they're like a banana split. You're always going to get 3 different flavors of ice cream. Sometimes they work really well together. Sometimes it's kind of weird, but pretty good. Sometimes it's a little questionable, and maybe we shouldn't have done that, but we did it anyway because we wanted to. Yeah, so I've done professional theater in other realms where, oh God, I did Christmas Carol, and I was Mrs. Cratchit, and every day my son died. That was part of the show, was that every day my kid dies, and I had to just deal with it. And I remember having stagehands meet me off stage with pictures of cats so that I would feel better. Because then right afterwards is the celebration, but Tiny Tim did not die, and it's just hard to be that person and allow yourself into that emotional space. So the nicest thing about stuff that we do is that we can predict songs. We can prepare a certain number of songs. We have like 45 in our catalog at this point. So as long as we got 20 ready to go, we can do completely different songs almost every time. And we can come up with new verses for things and all that kind of stuff. So it's constantly shifting and changing and working better and better for that particular group. So whatever you've got going on in terms of your life and stuff, you don't have to necessarily put that completely on the back burner in order to perform and really emotionally connect with something. And you don't have to do the same thing every time. And that's the fun part, is just the constant evolving of the show itself.
I had something in my throat. What is some of your favorite compliments and comments that you get?
I mean, everybody's like, "Oh my God, you're so pretty," and I'm like, "Thanks. That's what we do professionally." I have literally said, "Oh my God, you look so pretty." I'm like, that's what I do professionally, because that's what the job is. We're pretty women who sing dirty songs, so the pretty women part happens no matter what. We had a really great review that was written on our website ages ago, and that's where we got the tagline of "Truly a treasure, but questionably chaste." Someone actually wrote that into a Renaissance fair, and we got the copy of the review, and we're like, "Oh, we need to use that. We're using that forever now." So yeah. That's on some of our T-shirts is questionably chaste. That's one of our albums is questionably chaste. That's where that came from. Yeah, just a lot of people enjoy the heck out of what we do. We got a lot during the pandemic of, "You made this worthwhile." That even though we're all trapped inside our houses and we can't figure out how to go out safely, like, you creating content consistently has really helped keep my mental health stable. We've had people that are fans of ours that'll come up and say, like, "Look, I wouldn't have survived this last year if I hadn't had an opportunity to meet you and to hear about your confidence and your everything that you do." We've been told on multiple occasions that we've saved people's lives, and I take that very seriously. So that's the biggest compliment to me, is just giving someone a good excuse to keep living, because it's so much better when you stick around.
It's truly amazing. I think it's amazing that you are such a role model for people, and that you bring their spirits up, especially now. It's very hard times.
Oh yeah, it's hard, and we do, I think, two things really well. We unite a lot of crowds that wouldn't necessarily get along well, which is part of what we do as entertainers. And I think that we're really good at sliding in the important messages without hammering it on your face. So the end of "We Like Our Men" is, "We like our men like we like to drink, only when consent is express and freely given." And over time, we started out with only a couple of people applauding that. And the longer we've gone on, the more people have been like, "Yes, exactly. That's amazing." And it's been really rewarding to present that to audiences that wouldn't normally hear that as a positive thing. And over time, it's just gotten better and better. So I love that we are able to slide it in without it being really not offensive, without it being really difficult to hear. So we are slowly doing more and more of that the further we get on, and I really appreciate that about what we can do.
I think that's great, and I applaud you for that.
There are lots of other acts that do it too, and I always appreciate all the things that they do. But I think we're really good at making it not as overt, which is an intention. So some people are really intentional about like, I want to make this overt. This is a show specifically for this kind of crowd and this the audience. And if you're not this audience, this show is not for you. And I totally respect that as well. That's another methodology a lot of people employ. But I like that we can, as long as you're fine with the adult themes, generally speaking, anyone can enjoy our content. It's an adult theme show, people, just in case you're curious.
Yes.
I don't want people to be like, ooh, Ladies Unlaced, let me look on the YouTube page and be like, that's not safe for work. Like, I don't want anyone to be looking our stuff up later and think that this is like stuff you should play your kids after dinner.
No, it's adult the songs, but it's all very well performed and in very good taste from what I've seen. So
I'll try. There have been occasions where people have come up and their 5-year-old is singing Sex and Beer. And I'm just like, well, that was a choice. You brought them to the show. It's not my fault that they started doing that. It's a catchy song.
Oops.
Happens.
And one of my final questions, what is the benefit of doing really the virtual shows for you?
I think part of it is just being able to give people, especially in an off season or during the pandemic when we had nothing to do, like all of us were out of work, being able to give us something, a creative outlet to do things in. And it is always my privilege to be able to go into our PayPal account after they've tipped us for a show and just be able to disseminate that money to the people that have worked really hard for it. It's one of my favorite things about being the producing director is that that's my job, is to give well-deserved artists the money that they deserve for their performances. That makes me really happy. So that's the really nice thing about doing some of the Ladies Unlaced stuff, is that even on times when we're not performing, like July is just really hot for a lot of Renaissance fairs, or April when it's just raining constantly. Most fairs don't open around then either. It's nice to be able to give everybody a little bit of work and a little bit of reward for what they're doing. And that's the same thing with the Patreon too, that I get to pass that around to all the different ladies. So you get different perspectives from the show and from the group. And you get to meet new people sometimes, which is always fun. And then I can pay them for the work that they've done, of like, oh yes, you wrote all the letters this week, so here's the money that you get for writing letters, or here's the money that you get for writing verses. Like it's always nice to be able to get money out to the people who deserve it.
And I think that that's great that they're getting the true payment for everything that they're doing. So I definitely hope that things keep going well for this group. You, along with all the other ladies, are just simply amazing in my book. So
thank you, appreciate that.
So we know we have some merchandise on your store. Can you tell a little bit that's available for people to purchase?
Oh, goodness. Yes. So you can always go on to our website, chasetreasure.com, and look up information about any of our merchandise. So we have a Spreadshirt site that I think had like a 20% off discount at some point recently. We also have CDs available. We have 4 different CDs available. They are $15 a piece. You can also find all of them on Spotify and iTunes and wherever else you stream music. We're working on new merchandise. I'm getting out the exclusive Patreon shirts. I got to finish ordering them this week and then get them out to the people. But we're hoping to create some new T-shirts that we'll hopefully bring around to all the different festivals that we're doing. But there's all different kinds of stuff. You would also feel free to commission us for custom verses. So we just had one come in. I think it's $10 for just writing the verse. Hello, it's Rosaline. Yay. It's $10 for just a regular commissioned verse, or I think it's $25 to have someone wear garb while doing it. So actually getting into the full outfit and everything. but yeah, you can have customized verses written for your friends, for celebrations, for yourself, for birthdays, and Valentine's is coming up, so that's always fun to write a verse about how much you care about somebody. We're really good at that kind of thing. Especially Rosline. Rosline can rattle off verses in 5 minutes, which I've never been able to do. Yeah.
I just thought I'd mention I have purchased 2 of the verses before.
Who
did
you get?
I hope I'm saying her name correctly. I want to say Lady
Evangeline.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
I'm saying that correctly. I got it last year for my birthday for me and Tilly. So.
Oh yes. All right. That's all right. Dan and Tilly. Got it.
She requested. She's like, I can write one. That was during the stream. I remember I had commented on that.
Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah. She's fun. That's awesome. I'm glad.
And the other one was Lady Julie.
Julie, yes. Funny that you got like 2 of the French people. Yeah, I worked with Julie down in Louisiana. That was a treat. That was always fun to have different people together. That's been the most interesting thing I think recently, is just the accent scramble of everyone getting together. So in Louisiana, it was Julie, who's French, and then myself, who's English, and then Lady Agnes, who is Scottish. So all of those accents at the same time can be really intense. It's a ton of fun. Yeah, there's all different kinds of people doing the shows, and I love all of that too.
And I requested Jurassic Park, and she went where there was dinosaur statues.
Yeah. Oh, where was she working that she found those? Oh my god, I'm gonna have to ask her at some point.
Yeah, but for those people watching, I'm gonna share those videos in the Dan-A-Plooza page, so you can see what they're like. And if you want that, and you want to know more, then I'll direct you to the Chaste Treasure page where they can answer questions.
Yes. Chaste Treasure on pretty much any kind of social media is always us. I think we're also technically on Twitter. We're definitely on Instagram. We're on Facebook, Patreon, YouTube, all of that stuff. So anytime you find us, or you could chasetreasure@gmail.com is our email. So, feel free to send us an email if you need to.
And I've already shared 2 of the CDs. I also have the spread shirt. I have the green. It's like long sleeve.
Oh, nice.
So I'll share a picture of me wearing that. So
thank you. Yes, please.
Into that. Before we wrap up, anything else you'd like to say or promote, Lady Morgan?
Oh gosh. I also work with the Twitch stream Nat21 Adventures. So if you like spooky things, I'll be running a gothic horror campaign starting next Thursday at 10 p.m. Eastern. And I also, you can find me on Instagram and also on Patreon at Quill and Quote. So I write scary, scary stories. And then my husband, who is a professional narrator on Audible, narrates them for me. So it's a ton of fun to be able to do those kinds of projects too. So that's just my own personal stuff. But mostly this was here to talk about all of this. So find us online.
All right. Well, I thank you for... Morgan wrote a book.
Yes, I did. Wait, I do have that. Hang on.
It's all right. I'll keep going. Thank you, Lady Rosalind, for watching and posting the comments.
I'm going to talk about it when I'm not in the middle of actually promoting it, because that's a different person. But yes, I wrote a book. It's called Dare by Melissa Lee. You can find it on Amazon. You can find it on Audible. But yeah, that's us doing our very, very spooky stuff. Yeah, I've got a lot of really creepy stories in that one. That was my first collection. I'm hoping to do more soon.
And we will definitely share that in the Dan-A-Plooza Facebook page.
Thanks. Appreciate that.
All right. Well, that's going to wrap it up. I'm Dan the Man. This is Lady Morgan from Chaste Treasure. Everyone have a good night. Support Chaste Treasure and Dan-A-Plooza. Take care.
Bye.